So it all sounds great, right? But Herbalife is expensive. We hear this every so often. Often people have ended up, maybe taking the Healthy Habits quiz, seeing some results, being inspired. They realize that for things to change, they're going to have to change, maybe change their habits and a few other things. They're up for the guidance. They want to be supported. And then they see the price and all of a sudden they have a decision to make. And really, there's only two reasons ever why people don't get started with the Herbalife nutrition program. And the first of those reasons is that people don't understand Herbalife. The common mistake is that people think it's a shake diet. They think it's a fad. They think that, they don't get to eat proper food. What happens when I stop using the products? Will I put all the weight back on? And this is all conditioning from things that have happened in the past and results that have happened in the past. And the first thing to realize is none of those things are true about Herbalife. This isn't a fad. It's not a diet. We want to help you change your relationship with food, with exercise, with water. We want you to create habits that will not only help you get to where you want to be, but stay there forever. The reality is, if we do our job right, you won't need Herbalife products for very long. Okay, so that's the first thing to understand. The only other reason people don't get started with Herbalife is because of the price. And that's really what I want to kind of address in this video. Not to persuade or convince anyone, right? Because expense is all relative, and if you can't afford Herbalife right now, then that's the case, and no video or no explanation is going to change that. But sometimes when people understand the cost versus value proposition of Herbalife, then they have a different understanding. I want you to understand the value of Herbalife beyond a tub of shake, right? Because if you look at a tub of shake and you go, cool, that's 30 odd quid, there's cheaper things out there. And that, of course, is the case, right? The first thing to say is that Herbalife isn't designed to be cheap, right? There's a lot of weight loss companies out there and diet products out there all competing for your hard-earned cash. And the only way to make cheap products is to use cheap ingredients or cheap manufacturing processes. And that's just not something that Herbalife is willing to do, right? There's another video in here in the Nutrition Hub called Why Herbalife? And in there, I talk about our manufacturing process, our ingredients, and all those reasons why Herbalife isn't designed to be cheap, right? After all, who wants to be putting cheap inside their most valuable asset, inside their body, right? So with cheap, low quality products comes cheap, low quality support. And whilst we won't put any other company or product or service down, it's just that to make the distinction, right? When you buy a Herbalife product, you get a one-to-one coach, you get group support, you get this Facebook group, you get so much more. It comes with a money back guarantee as well, right? There's very few products in our industry that come back with a money back guarantee as well. And so straight away, we're very different, right? Fords and Ferraris are different prices, but they're two very different products, right? If you buy a Ferrari, you expect a certain level of product, you expect a certain level of service and aftercare, and we consider ourselves the Ferrari of human nutrition, right? So understand you're going to get a better support service and a better product than you're going to get anywhere else. And whilst we're cheap, totally appreciate that there are cheaper products out there. We make no excuses for the price of our products, right? What you're getting is a product with 40 years history. It's science backed. It's developed over 40 years by some of the leading minds and some of the leading people in human nutrition on the face of the planet. Okay, Herbalife is the #1 meal replacement on planet Earth, right? No one even comes close to us. And year after year, we win awards based on the quality and effectiveness of our products. Again, cheap products don't have that credibility. We do. Okay, so the next thing to understand is to really, or I want you something to think about. What have you spent money on or wasted money on over the years to lose weight, right? Fad diets, gym memberships, classes, PTs. And whilst all of those things are good, we want people working out. We want them to go to the gym. We want you supporting your local PT. We want you doing all of that. But the question is, how did they work for you? Right? How much money have you wasted over the years? People end up at Herbalife because they've tried almost everything else, right? And so if you've tried everything else and you're not where you want to be, or maybe you're worse than you know, physically you're in a worse shape than you were this time last year, it was just all wasted money. And did any of those things offer you a money back guarantee on your results? Right? Did you have a one-to-one coach who you could message 24/7, 7 days a week, 365 days a year? Did you have a positive, helpful community like this one to help you along the way? All of those things, were they in place? Because we know the answer to that, it's primarily no. And again, it's helping you understand you get much more than a tub of shake to help you to almost guarantee the results that you're going to get, right? Every Herbalife product comes with unlimited support, guidance, motivation, education. And if for whatever reason, right, you get started on a program and you know, you follow the plan, right? And for any reason you don't get on with the products, you don't enjoy the products, and you want your money back, then you are entitled to your money back at any time. Okay, no questions asked. Send them back to your coach. The coach sends them back to Herbalife. The coach get their money back, and you get your money back. Right? It's a process that's been in place for 40 years, and we're very proud of our money back guarantee. So that's that. The last thing, or not the last thing, but the next thing is that you have to understand this concept of transfer of spend. Right? When you get on a Herbalife weight loss program, we're covering 2 main meals a day, breakfast and lunch. So whatever you're currently having for breakfast and lunch, you stop having and you start having Herbalife. Before people get started with Herbalife, we know most of them, you know, yes, a lot of people skip breakfast or have a cheap breakfast. Most important meal of the day, by the way. You should breakfast like a king and dinner like a pauper. And most people skip or have a cheap, you know, low nutrition breakfast. So you're going to get a great breakfast, you're going to get a great lunch. Before Herbalife, most people are skipping breakfast or maybe grabbing a meal deal or sandwich or something quick for lunch, which tends to be higher in calories and lower in nutrition. A lot of people are living off coffees and energy drinks and snacks that don't serve them. And because they're only spending a few quid a day, okay, in the coffee shop, in the canteen, in the garage, in the whatever, they don't really ever look at, well, what's that costing me weekly or what's that costing me monthly? And when they start to add it up, it actually adds up to a lot of money. For some people, it adds up to hundreds of pounds. Like a £5 a day over an average month, like is 120, 150 pound, right? It adds up to a lot of money. And what we know, having been around Herbalife for 26 years, worked with hundreds and hundreds of personal customers myself, I would say 90% of the customers that I start to work with, they actually end up saving money on their weekly and monthly food bill because they're on a Herbalife program, right? They're just transferring the spend, instead of spending it a few pounds each day, right? They just buy a program at the beginning of the month or whatever, and what they would usually be spending money on, they're not, right? And so they actually end up saving money. And not only that, they end up getting a great result too. So it's like it's a win-win situation. Save money, feel better, lose weight, look better, everything is great. But of course, the upfront cost is always there, right? Whenever you lump it together, it's always going to sound more than £2 or £3 a day. Last but not least, if you're serious about getting results, you can speak to your coach and ask them about our preferred customer program. Now, preferred customer is usually reserved for people who have already bought their first program. But, you know, if money is really an issue for you, you can speak to your coach about it. It means that you can get an instant 15%, 25, 35% discount on all of your Herbalife products. And so that might be something that you want to consider as well. You know, most people come to Herbalife because they're sick of struggling with their weight and other issues. They've tried lots of other things over the years, tried and failed at lots of other things over the years. Nothing has worked for them long term. And so, you know, whilst I don't agree that Herbalife is expensive, right, because it's all relative, Herbalife is certainly not cheap, right? But the products are the best on the market. The support is the best you will ever have. The results are just unending. You only need to look through this group and just day after day, result after result, real people getting real results without starving themselves, without being hungry, without feeling deprived, saving money along the way as well. And, you know, God forbid this didn't work for you, you're entitled to your money back as well, okay? So expensive is always relative, relative to what you want versus what you're going to get, right? If you want results that come from the best products, the best support, the best guidance you've ever had, then Herbalife is the right thing for you, right? If you're looking for a cheap product, off the shelf product with no personal support or guidance, then the reality is Herbalife probably isn't for you, right? Some of my best personal customers who've got the best results over the years were people that couldn't afford it straight away. But my commitment to them was that as and when they were ready, as and when they could afford it, as and when Herbalife was priority enough that maybe they would forfeit, a takeaway once a week to save up the money to buy a Herbalife program. My commitment to them was when they were ready, then I'd be ready to ensure and guarantee they got results with whatever money they invested in Herbalife. And they went on to become the most serious, the most committed with the best results ever. So whilst you may not be able to afford Herbalife today, why not speak to your coach about putting some money aside each week, each month, and coming to us when you're ready, and we will guarantee your results. Okay, good luck with whatever you decide. I look forward to one day seeing your results in this group too. Good luck.